hotdog. Pumunta sa Manila. Lasallista sila. All the way.
Galing. Talaga? Lasal pala yung mga yan.
Nag-zoom lang kami kasi nasa Canada, nasa Vegas.
Las Vegas, oo.
Si hotdog.
Hotdog, Lasallista sila.
Lunch break, right?
Campus life is that part of your life that you will relive in your memories until you breathe your last. Here in Decades LaSalle, we're here to recall the past, reconcile the present, and ready the future. And for today's episode, we have no less than living Lasallian sports legends. And it's my honor to introduce the three of them today. So first things first, we have one of the most historic and exciting moments ever in Philippine basketball history, not just UAAP history. It was 1999, Game 3. LaSalle was in the running for the championship against the UST Growling Tigers, and 4 seconds in the timer, someone made an off-balance three-pointer that made the game tie in those last few moments. And to this day, it causes great commotion when you play that moment in time in basketball. A former Mythical 5 member, very happy to introduce the Dino Aldeguer as one of our guests. Hi, Dino.
Hi, thank you for inviting me here. It's a pleasure and honor to be here, to be with this handsome guest.
And next, also a baller, and with a great story as well, and that's why he's here. He originally was a swimmer from his childhood, an athlete through and through. From 6 months old, being thrown in the pool, to doing basketball in Xavier School, where he studied elementary and high school, and of course, later becoming King Archer in the 2007 UAAP Championship, which is also the vindication year for De La Salle University. His story has a lot of ups and downs in basketball, but he has proven that with grit, determination, and dedication, you can really become a great. And that is no less than TY Tang.
Thank you
Hello,
for inviting
TY.
me here. Pleasure to be beside the two legendary Lasallians.
And as far as legends go, it doesn't, of course, go further than the Olympics. And that is truly the greatest show on earth, the greatest testament to sportsmanship of the human race. And we have one Lasallian who not only was an Olympian twice, but is a bronze medalist in the 1992 Barcelona Summer Games for Taekwondo, a Jin, an administrator, sports director for nearby our sister brother College of St. Benilde, and is also the Deputy General for the Philippine Taekwondo Association. Please welcome Stephen Fernandez. Coach Stephen.
It's a pleasure to be here today, also with very distinguished gentlemen, fellow Lasallians, and great athletes.
Well, it's not going to be a very serious discussion, so don't worry. I think.
Serious.
I was just wishing that we were already rolling kanina no nagkukwentuhan pa lang outside. But I guess I'll start off with basketball, because of course Philippines is basketball country. And one thing that the two of you share, aside from basketball, is your jersey number. You're both number 11. But
Grade 3 pa lang kasi ako napapanood ko na si Dino.
But I'd like you to recall that time. I know you, Dino, you were talking frequently about that moment, when you hit that three-pointer, and a lot of people didn't realize that it was a struggle for you that year. All of the Philippine community saw the high, which is the three-point shot, but they didn't know what you went through that season. Maybe you can share more about that.
Just bit and pieces siguro. But it was quite amazing wherein people were talking about that shot even today, and whether it's the Lasallian community or the community outside of the school, people kept talking about it, but I would always tell them like, oh, just a few games ago, it was terrible. The journey going there, it was challenging for me because coming into the final season, I was, I would say, I mean, every athlete, they go through fatigue, and I was coming. We were coming from 1998 winning the championship, but before that, I was already with the Philippine Basketball League, the semi-pro league. So coming to semi-pro league, and then coming to 1998, we win the championship, and then after 1998, 2-week break, we entered the Philippine Basketball League again, and then 2 conferences after the Philippine Basketball League, we entered into the 99 season. So I was really tired and maybe I'd say fatigued. So during that time, that season, that span, I think coach saw that he couldn't squeeze any more juice from me.
Coach is, of course, the coach Franz Pumarin.
Yeah. So it was also just fair for him to look into to others to fill up the spot, diba? But of course, considering that it was my last year, considering you wanna give it a good exit, so I was really quite frustrated that I wasn't getting the minutes that I was usually getting, diba? But so there, and it's funny that every day in practice, I would, lahat na ng dirty tricks ginagawa ko na dun kay the starting point ko dito was Ronald Kuan. So I was doing all those tricks in practice, but instead of him getting injured, it toughened him up and he started playing even better. So sabi ko, I think I should change my approach or change my style, but in fairness, he played really well. And then it was semifinals, coming to the semifinals, and I was already getting like from 0 minutes, I was getting 3 minutes, and 3 minutes I was getting 5 minutes, and then 5. This is from not resting, for like 2-3 years straight of just playing maximum minutes. So, and then coming to the semifinals, Coach Franz comes to me and says, "You get ready because semifinals is coming up, and I'm gonna put you in." I was so excited and everything, and lo and behold, on our way to the game, we don't make it to the game because there was a flood, there was a typhoon during that time. So apparently it was me and Don who was in the car, and we didn't make it to the game.
This is Don Aliado. This is the team of Renan Ritualo, Don Aliado,
and then me. They're called the big
Mon
three.
Jose also.
So we don't make it to the game, and I was like, okay, so there goes my future, there goes my playing years, and kasi we had to win that game because if we won, then we would get the twice to beat seeding. And without Don there, it would be really tough. And then me naman, I was thinking of breakout game coming up because coach talked to me, and we don't make it to the game, and we were stranded, everything. So then it became another issue. But lo and behold, coach naman was very understanding kasi after the LaSalle UST game, our game was the juniors, the LaSalle Zobel juniors, and the LaSalle Zobel juniors never reached the game. The entire bus also didn't make it to the game. Stranded sila. So in the same area where we were, diba? So there, and then it climbed up until the final game, last game. So we were just fortunate that things turned out for the best, and surprisingly up to today, people still remember it.
Yeah, and I was also doing, of course, the backtrack. That game 3, you were saying was like a mirror of game 1. Take us through the mental journey of that, because in game 1, you also made an attempt, but it didn't go through. We were in the same predicament in game 1, wherein we needed a 3-point shot to tie, and same play was of course look for Renren, diba? Renren was our go-to guys, when we needed a 3-pointer again. And of course, when you're in the doghouse for quite some time, you wanna kind of advance your breakthrough. So I called for the play, and then I missed terribly. So when I entered the dugout, it was really all my fault during game 1. So I again told myself, okay,
that's it. That's it. So in fact, even game 2, I only played.
I love how
maybe-
your face, you can totally relate to all of these feelings.
ano na, nung game 2.
Balik sa doghouse.
Balik. Hindi lang balik ha, balik tapos lock
Pasok.
ulit.
Si TY can relate
So game 2, I hardly played. I only played for what, maybe 10 minutes or 8 minutes during the time. Luckily, come game 3, si Ronald, na foul trouble siya ng maaga. 2 fouls siya kaagad. So, wala nang choice si coach. So sabi niya, bahala na. I mean, put him in. And then the rest follow. So, lucky bunot.
I love what you said in an interview before, and what you learned from that is that everything is winnable, everything is doable.
Yeah. The only time it's not winnable or doable is if you don't show up or you don't really give yourself a chance to fight it out, diba? So that's when it becomes not doable. But if you're willing to give it a shot, or it's doable.
And now to TY, because we're on the basketball streak so far. I will get to the Olympics, of
Save the
course.
best
No,
for
It's nice to hear the stories again.
I know.
I watched that game actually.
I can remember clearly also because I entered Salle 2000, and this was of course 1999, and they were constantly playing that moment, no, as a freshman coming into school, and the high was still there in 2000.
It was, yeah.
So, yeah. But to TY, your story is also quite remarkable because, of course, you're a rookie, you're heavily, tawag dito, sought for. Pinaglaban, pinag-awayan talaga. And then, your rookie year in LaSalle, I mean, we all know the story. I mean, we'd love for you to tell the story also, di ba, na you almost wanted to quit, di ba?
I did quit.
And you quit. But that's not how it ended. In fact, you ended as a champion. But I'd love, maybe we can
I'd
tell,
love to hear that.
our listeners,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
audience,
yeah.
what happened, kasi I think with what you go through, of course, you're in the limelight. Back then, thankfully, wala pa tayong Twitter. I'm actually quite grateful. Pero, of course, there were internet forums, di ba? There were internet forums. There was Pinoy Exchange at
Pinoy
that
Exchange
time,
lang,
di ba? And
Pinoy Exchange,
I saw also how you guys as athletes were subject to all of these noise, di ba? All of
Okay
these.
yung Pinoy Exchange kasi yun ang vlog dati, di ba? Yung
Andun
Pinoy
lahat
Exchange.
eh.
Ang problema, ang maganda dun sa Pinoy Exchange is ang sama ng internet natin during the time, so no one would really read. Kahit na bash ka, okay lang.
Okay lang yun.
Kasi hindi sila makapasok sa internet.
Talagang-
Ngayon, wala. Kita mo lahat eh.
But siguro, Tio, I'm asking about that story because I feel like maraming lessons there that young people can relate to. People our age, mga 40s and above can relate to because we're, in that stage where we're parents now. So, could you share a bit more of
With
that?
my story, I'd like to start off me being studying in Xavier High School. So, syempre, we're exclusively boys school, right? So, wala kaming masyadong interaction with people, different people. It's just usually us. And then from then, I would say I'm more of the quiet type of person when I was younger. Ngayon iba na eh. But when I was younger, yung quiet lang ako, I won't raise my hands for recitation in school. During lunchtime, during lunch break, sometimes I just go with 2 people. I go inside the library, not to read a book, to have the air condition kasi sobrang init sa labas. Sometimes I play board games, chess, or something that we can do inside the library quietly. And then, yun nga, it's just the basketball that's really my passion at that time. And talagang bola lang. I think I breathe basketball. I wake up thinking of playing basketball after school and then trying to improve my game. That was early on my mindset at that time. But as I entered LaSalle, parang nanibago ako sa environment wherein it's pretty loud. Hindi kami parang just a tight-knit community. And then there's like lahat na eh. You get to see everybody and there's just too much freedom. Yung oras mo, you handle your own time. You can opt not to go to school, to your class. Pwede ka lumabas, cut class, and then come back. So it's really something that I wasn't used to. And then when I got to the team, medyo rowdy yung team namin at that time. So those are things na I wasn't really accustomed to coming from an all-boys school. But it was really a good experience for me, I would say, because it really opened a lot of thoughts in my mind, or at least the real world in a way. It prepared me to handle the real world. So with that, yes, I was sought after by a lot of schools before entering college, and then I chose LaSalle. And with my first year as a rookie year playing for LaSalle, it didn't really go well. Lahat ng turnover nagawa ko na yata. It came to a time na hindi na TY yung tawag sa akin, TO Tang na eh. Turnover Tang na yung tawag sa akin, di ba? So slowly it got into me. I was 18 back then, so slowly it got everything sa mindset ko, demeanor ko, my confidence, self-esteem. And to a point when I walk in and out of LaSalle, I'm very, how do I say this? I feel the environment. They kind of like quiet down, mellow down, look at me, stare at me. So parang alam ko, ako yung pinag-uusapan na hindi ako sanay na ganun. So hindi na nga ako umabot dun sa mga Pinoy exchange, yung mga yan. I tried to avoid because I'm not already confident with myself at that time, di ba? But I was struggling at the same time trying to find my way back. But it was just really hard at that time. With all the practices, the pressure of going to school and then going into practice, not the same as how it's done in a high school environment. Because here, my first term, I took full load. So 6 units ako. 21 units ako. Kasi ini-expect ko, kaya yan. Parang savior lang. Parang ganun. Hindi pala. I can't. When I asked permission from Coach Franz for my first quiz, which was 2 weeks after enrollment, not enrollment, the first day of school. I asked permission from Coach Franz. I go, Coach, we're gonna have a quiz. Yung quiz sa college, 5 chapters eh. So you have to read about 120 pages. So nagpaalam mo kay Coach Franz, he allowed me to, okay, just like how my high school coach would allow me. Parang no questions asked. Go. Okay. Next week, may quiz na naman of another subject. So paalam na naman ako kay Coach Franz. Sabi ko kay Coach, may quiz na naman ako sa ibang subject. Can I not practice today? After that, meron na siyang sinabi sa akin. Sabi niya sa akin, alam mo, TY, dito sa college, pag sinabi mong student-athlete ka, dalawa na yan kailangan mong i-prioritize. Pag hindi mo kaya, mamili ka na lang ng isa. So, from then on, parang, hindi na pala ako pwede magpaalam. So, that's when everything changed for me na, okay, now I have to really manage my time, squeeze in more, I would say, academic time from my other me time or my personal time, di ba? So, yung mga socializing ko, mas nabawasan, all that. During the first few months, even my lunch breaks, nagiging kain and aral na eh. Diba? So, maraming changes from my high school to my college life that I wasn't really able to cope up or adjust well. Plus the fact that the basketball scenery was, I would say, the highlight of it all, diba? During my first few months in college. So after us losing to Ateneo at that time sa finals, parang I said, I wanna take a break first from basketball, but I don't really know if I want it back because of the adjustments nga that I wasn't really able to cope up to. So it was during tapos na yung it was already November 1 if I'm not mistaken. I was teammates with Dino for ICTSI in the PBL. We had a practice November 1 sa Makati Coliseum. Doon ako nagpaalam kay Coach Franz na hindi na ako nag-practice that day. Pero pumunta ako, 6 a.m. practice natin. Pumunta ako, hindi na ako nag-practice. Nagpaalam kay Coach Franz kung pwedeng I want to stop playing basketball first. He allowed me naman. Sabi niya, no problem, but if there's any point in time that you want, then you can come back and try out again. So yun nangyari. Then I stopped for maybe about 3-4 months. But yun nga, when I got home, it was really my dad who was really hard on me. Sabi
Tough
niya,
love.
yeah, really, my dad has been known to be that. Tough love talaga siya. So, sabi niya, okay, ayaw mo na mag-basketball, no problem. He got my EAF, yung enrollment assessment form, di ba? So, andun yung schedule ko. Okay, dismissal. Klase ka dito, dismissal ka dito, klase ka dito, dismissal ka dito, anong araw, anong oras. Laging nandyan yung driver. Sundo ka, uwi ka. Kulong ka, doghouse pa. Doghouse, pasok ka dyan, lock and load. Yun lang yung ginawa ko for the next 3-4 months. I couldn't really get out of the house. It was just home, school. Walang anything aside from that. So the first 3-4 weeks was really, how do I say this? Very exciting for me. Kasi parang it was the first time out of my athlete life. Kasi ever since I was a swimmer, it was always school and then practice, school and then practice. It's gonna be the first time that I'm gonna what am I gonna do? I have a lot of free time during the afternoon. Diba? And it's also, just like what Dino mentioned earlier, na sometimes you get burned out, diba, as an athlete. You feel a lot more, a lot of that stress or a lot of that feeling inside you, parang gagaan eh. Diba? Parang ngayon biglang gagaan sa'yo lahat dahil nawala yung isang concern mo sa everyday routine mo. So from there, the first month was okay. I was so excited to be a couch potato. Get anything from the ref for the first time, di ba? No pressure. You have TV, DVD pa no. So I asked my brothers to get me DVDs from sa Metro Walk, bring it home every day. Two movies every day. Tapos popcorn, pizza, hot dog, ice cream, lahat. Ginawa ko na for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But after that, yun nga, that's when the itch would really get to you na hindi talagang hahanapin mo eh. Kung ano yung normal routine mo, you would really try to look for it. But I tried to slow it down. Is it just right now or would it be really the natural me wanting to come back and play basketball? But in the end, it was a total effort of myself, I guess my dad also, trying to force me back. You have to play kasi at the end of it, you haven't really proven anything yet. So if you haven't really proven anything yet today, there's nothing in this world that you will be able to do and achieve. That was something that got into my head. Because yun nga, if I want to achieve something, whether it be in the business side, whether it be in a basketball side, or anything in this world, whether it's going to be a father or a friend to somebody, I won't be able to achieve that if I don't have my own self-confidence. So that's what brought me back. By January of the next year, I texted Coach Franz, can I again come back and try it out again? And then, yun nga, from then on, the mindset was different. There was no turning back anymore. Whatever struggle you have, whatever obstacle you're gonna face, just face it, go through it, and there's no other way but to break through that. So eventually, I was able to barge through that wall, overcome everything that I've been going through at that point in time, and was able to succeed in the next how many years of my athlete's life.
The rest is history because you've won championships in every conference, not just in the UAAP. And I will touch on that again later. But of course, Coach Stephen, I want to ask, what was it like, during your time in LaSalle, and of course to represent the Philippines in Barcelona, in Seoul first, and then in Barcelona. Please walk us through that time in your life.
First of all, nung time namin wala pang Pinoy exchange. Wala pang DVD.
Diaryo lang, diaryo.
So talaga,
Diaryo magazine.
all the time to practice.
We had to call using 325. So these are the things that we grew up with. Payphone, exactly.
Pula pa.
But really, my first love then was already sports. Before I joined Taekwondo, I also tried basketball in elementary, but during recess, my classmates were all taller and bigger than me, so I wouldn't get the time to play. So eventually I went to other sports, football, swimming, and then Taekwondo because I had a Korean classmate who was my barkada in lunch and dismissal recess. So he found out that I was interested in the martial arts. So he took me to Vera Mall Gym to watch the session, and that day, 1981 of March, that started my journey in Taekwondo. And in fact, when I started it, I just wanted to be like Bruce Lee. Because my dad we would watch movies together in Cubao, in Quezon City, when he was still alive. And, I'd imitate him every time I'd get home, follow his moves with the nunchucks. So when he died, my world collapsed talaga. But eventually, when I enrolled in Taekwondo, it opened a lot of opportunities for me. I was very shy then, very unsociable, but through my Taekwondo, I learned to gain more friends. And then I said I wanted to become a black belt. That was my first goal, besides being like Bruce Lee. So that time of getting the black belt started the things rolling. No? I played for my gym, then I played for Green Hills in high school, and later on I was recruited to play for dlsu. Back then kasi, wala pang UAP then during our time, but we were playing in the nationals and other tournaments organized by, it was Tel Gintong Alay then, and then later on PSC. So we joined those tournaments under the association. And then one thing led to another. We qualified later on to participate in the SEA Games, the very first edition with my teammate Monsorio Rosario. So we won gold. So we were the first medalist for the Philippines for Taekwondo then in 1987. And then I played on until 91. And aside from that, I was playing for the national team also while playing for dlsu. And
simultaneously, you were representing the country and the school, no?
Yes, I was studying also, and I was playing coach at that time. So a lot of responsibility. But one thing I did enjoy was really being with my team, our team, the Philippine team, the LaSalle team. And then in '88, there was talk already that it was going to be held for the first time in Seoul. And because we won in '87, we qualified for the '88 Seoul Olympics. And of course, with the guidance of my teacher, who is still my teacher today, Mr. Hong, sabi niya, okay, you guys are going to the Olympics. We have to prepare. So I didn't see how big it was then. I was 19 in '87, but it was my teammate Mansour who tell me how big it was. Now this is the greatest show on earth, and not everybody gets a chance to join this. So be prepared. But unfortunately, in '88, I went up against the eventual gold medalist on the first round. So I lost. But that experience gave me an eye-opener to the bigger things, of how big Taekwondo was really in the world then. Especially the demonstration that was held during the opening ceremony Talagang they really sold the sport to the world. And I continued. I was still hungry for competition, so I continued to play and represent the school pa rin until I graduated, then coaching. And in 92, I had to go back again to participate, but this time with a new set of teammates already. We were more, so it was happier. In 88,
The bigger delegation already. Sorry, Coach Stephen.
So ulit-ulit tayo sa akin, tapos kay TY.
Rewind na. It's okay, it's
Ulit sa
okay.
akin.
Wow.
Kasi you mentioned it.
Wait, Lasalle din si Bruce Lee.
In Hong Kong.
Catholic Lasalle
Lasalle.
College.
Yeah, tama, yeah. Yeah.
Pero mas idol ko naman si Stephen kaysa kay Bruce Lee. Mas close encounter ko kay Stephen.
Sige, so preparation for Barcelona. Bigger delegation, you were saying.
Yeah, 92 was a bigger delegation. But at the same time in 92, I was also struggling. Taekwondo ni Dino, ni TY, they had struggles. In 92, the biggest struggle I had was my mom was sick and dying of terminal cancer. So how to put things together, to train, and to be in that sphere na you have a mission to fulfill was tough for me really. But with my family support, my teammates support, I was able to handle it. And 92 was going to be also my last year of competition. Kasi I was already competing for 10 years. And at that time, I wanted to pursue something else already. No? So 92, I said, I'll just have fun. I'll give everything I've got. And win or lose, I'll be happy. But I was training talagang every day, Monday to Sunday. Sunday was my rest day, so I just do a light run in the morning. But in the mornings, we'd run. Then I train in Lasalle during lunch. Then in the evenings, I train with the national team. So it was hard, and I had to maintain a weight also for my category. And yeah, my mom was sick then, but she said, I know you're happy with this. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay. And I remember my dad mentioning before I left for Barcelona, sabi niya, if you do win, ang una mong gawin, isabit mo yung medal mo sa mami mo. So that stuck to me. And when I went to Barcelona, sabi ko, I'll just have fun. I see all the other athletes, in the game village, your idols you see on TV. And our event kasi was the last event, one of the last. So we were not allowed to watch the other games. At that time, the Dream Team was playing already for the first time.
Wow.
So I'd watch them on TV. My other teammates, natapos na, would go to the stadium. Kami would stay in the game village lang. At the same time, train. So when game time came, sabi ko, I'll have fun lang. And when I entered the stadium, it was jam-packed. It was full of people. So then yun, the rest is history. I won in the quarterfinals. Then semifinals, I lost to the eventual silver medalist. Well, the silver medalist was the reigning number 2, and the one who got the gold medal was the reigning world champion then. But the funny thing is, later on, years later on, after that 1992 event, we saw each other again. I think it was 2002 or 2003 in one tournament abroad. We were all coaches already, so it was sort of a reunion. So. Yeah, it was very memorable. We moved on to another part of our careers, which was coaching. But one thing I'll really say is, I can say is that my memories of Lasalle is something that's always been part of me dahil this is where I practically modeled myself to be a better athlete, a better student, influence also other students to take up the sport, represent the school, represent the country eventually also. And yeah, when things started to unfold later on, I became the coach here for 24 years. Became a part-time faculty. Made a lot of friends along the way. Also my idols in their sports. And yeah, it was a good run. And I'm very thankful also to the Lasalle brothers who molded me, guided me along the journey. Especially when they'd be around on campus, watching our practices, diba? Then they'd sit out or take a few photos, may kwento. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be part of the Lasallian community, and I'll never forget my time here in Green Hills, in dlsu, and in College of St. Benil.
I love that you said that, Coach Stephen, because I think no great person, no great athlete has had a free ride. Everyone has had like some internal battle, you know, an individual storm. But I think the common thread there is the community, or like an external person, or yung samahan, that kind of drives us to becoming well again, to becoming, you know, to having that final push na sige. And I want to touch on that, you know, the samahan, because I remember you were talking, Dino, about how in the old gym, Athanasius back then, and during U break, no, all of the, you know, most of the student body would watch you guys.
Yeah. I was trying to recall, you know, stepping into this new campus. I call it new because everything seems to be new. I mean, you can get lost just finding this, you know, this room. But I remember because our gym before, where me and Stephen would train, would be like the center of it all. Like everyone waiting for everyone waiting for their next class, they'll stay there. Everyone who's waiting to get sundo by their car, they'll wait there. Everyone who's waiting to, you know, to just kill time, they'll wait. It's really the gym. The gym was really the tambay of everyone, and us being the basketball players there, we were, you know, you would motivate us to play because, you know, people are watching, they're seeing who's the new guy, who's performing, who's not performing yet. And then just us look on the right side, you'll see Stephen, you know.
And then I look down, I see Dino.
Ganun lang.
Like literally,
Parang
the same.
training is ongoing. There's a lot of activities going on in the gym. We're in the judo room. Then upstairs, there's a dance class or sometimes.
And then just a few meters away is the football.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how the athletes are today. But during our time, talagang yung barkada namin are the players of the other sport. Like kami, as a team, we would go watch the football team play. Or let's say, for example, I remember even kasama ko pa si isang team ko, we would go to Rizal to watch.
Parang
Taekwondo.
mini Olympic village, no?
But people, you know, they were there. So the friendship and everything, even the dorm was mixed. Now kasi basketball. Dati yung panahon ng dorm, yung volleyball player nandun din sa dorm, yung baseball player nandun din sa dorm, and then later on, I mean, I was able to reach that also, where they took away the athletes per sport na siya, diba? But yeah, it was like that before, and I really felt, even as a team, as a basketball team, naging maganda yung samahan namin kasi walang ibang mapuntahan eh. Dito marami kang mapupuntahan eh. You go to this area, go there, you go back to the dorm namin dati malayo eh. So I would stay in the dorm at a few times. Medyo malayo. So they would really hang around the school, and you know, you hang around your teammates. So
Nice.
yeah.
And we were also talking about how prior to winning the championship in 1998, medyo may cliques, should we say?
Yeah. I think in any organization, I believe that the team that gels the most has a better chance of really winning in any organization, whether it's sports or business or you know, whichever. Kasi I don't know.
When everybody's in sync.
In sync.
One goal.
Kasi like si Steven, coach siya, diba? I mean, when you're coaching a team and you know that there's, you know, pwede mo sabihin may division or ano, diba? So pag may division dyan, parang it's so hard to win. Kasi there's one guy who's really not, like for example, si TY gusto mag-library, pero yung team gusto mag-practice, eh di kailangan hatakin to si TY, huwag ka muna mag-library. Kailangan natin mag-practice.
Mamaya na yan,
di ba?
Palagyan mo muna ng air condition.
So during our time, my rookie year, parang nakita ko, hindi siya kasing ganda ng samahan nung 98, 99 namin. I don't know what happened afterward, but when I came in kasi, parang, I mean, there was unity, but there was also some, what you would call na, ito barkada ni ganito, ito barkada ni ganyan. And then when the guys would go out, or this group would go together, pero 98 namin, hindi, talagang lahat kami magkakasama talaga. As in, we'd go to one place, lahat kami magkasama, and whether you're a coach or you're a player, you feel good because that's a bond wherein it's hard to really put down, diba? So I think that was one of the elements wherein we won.
And you know this too, TY, because you were the glue for your squad, for your team. Kasi, syempre, we had the suspension, no? But somehow you managed to bring the team together. Baka you can also share more about that.
During the time that we don't know yet that we were suspended. This was back in early 2006. They publicly announced the suspension towards summertime, late summertime, maybe May or June na. Bandang doon na nila sinabi na, okay, LaSalle will be suspended for 1 year for whatever reason happened. Yeah. So, kami at that time, we already had an idea that there's this rumor going on that we may be suspended. This was January to April or May of 2006. So, we were still practicing. Pero yung practices namin parang half-baked. You're not sure of where is this preparation for? What is this preparation for? And then when they said officially...
Wait, sorry, Dino. No worries. What? No, I have to pause because this is also very good.
Water.
May nakaalala sa'yo.
May nakaalala.
Why you need water?
Let's get our water.
Sige.
Tayo.
That's very good.
Nis ano to? Baka growth balls to.
And speaking of samahan, TY, you know this very well because you were the glue for your squad, especially during the time of the suspension. Could you take us back in time, no, to that moment and how you acted as team captain?
Going back to January of 2006. Yeah, 2006. At that time, I think we just lost to FEU October of 2005. So we had a break and then we started practice, but there were rumors that we may be suspended for the coming UAAP season because of the for whatever reason there is, right? So we were practicing for the next how many months, but not knowing if all the things that we're gonna prepare for, we're gonna be able to put to use that year. Then, about May or June of that year, 2006, UAAP officially announced that LaSalle will be suspended for all UAAP sports. So, one is, it was because of basketball that nadamay lahat ng sports. And then second is, what are we going to do next? And not only that what we are going to do next is a concern, but another issue would be, what about the players that we have? What's going to happen to them? Are they going to transfer? Are they going to stay? Or what are their thought process at that time? So there's so many things that are ongoing for us. Me naman at that time, I was already the captain of that season, dapat, of that 2006 season. The thing is, there's no UAAP. Wala UAAP eh. And then, when we continued with training, June, July, makikita mo na nagiging kalahati na lang kami sa training. There's like 8, from 15 down to 11, 11 down to 8. Sometimes we go to practice 5 lang. Because everybody else now have the time and the right to say, aaral muna kami. Which is a good thing. I mean, at least at that time, they know their priorities. My teammates knew their priorities that, we don't have any leagues. It's all minor leagues that we joined. And when we say minor leagues at that time, we don't play and compete against the Team A of other schools because they're already going into the season. Kami, wala eh. We just join whatever league there is. But the leagues that we join in, it's all Team Bs of other teams.
The leagues that they join kasi, they cannot join a league wherein it will take out your eligibility eh.
Yes.
Diba? Kasi baka
Correct.
like for example,
Correct.
the tournament, if you join a main tournament like a prestige, they will count that as a 1 year on your playing year eh. So
Wala. So
Wala
yung
talaga yun,
mga
no?
tournaments that we're trying to join, we win by a lot of points. Parang no bearing. So that's the reason why some of the other players are now demotivated to practice, and we're thinking of one whole year here that what are we gonna do? So ang nangyari is another is most of the supporters also kind of like stopped supporting. It was only really the main benefactors at that time were supporting, but also ano rin at a minimum kasi wala nangyayari sa amin. So it was really up to us now on how we can, one, motivate ourselves, and second, as Dino mentioned, you need to be in sync in what you want to do. You have to have a goal as a team so that you can stay motivated. Yan yung the time that I talked to the veterans, si Cholo, si JV, and si Rico at that time. Sabi ko, hindi pwedeng ganito lang tayo. Because if we want to come back strong next year, we should continue preparing like this is our season, so that we can continue progressing and developing towards how we want to get better, diba? For the next season. And hopefully we can bag another championship. So that being said, yun yung ginawa namin, exactly what Dino mentioned earlier about whether it's on court, whether it's off the court, from the first player to the last player, we were always together. So every week, ang naging trabaho ko dito as the captain ball, maghanap ng gimmick. Yan, dyan napunta yung pagka-captain ball ko. So every weekend, hanap kami ng kung saan kami we can bond together. Whether it's through, at that time, may red box. So there's KTV, there's the billiards, and then the bars, embassy. Yan. That's the time where I have to be more creative, calling people on how we can, get this whole bunch together. Kailangan makapasok kami lahat. Pag hindi kami makapasok, hindi kami pwede dyan. We just want to be together. So that's where our gelling or camaraderie or bonding really got into another level. That when we come into the game or into practices, when we say we need to work, anybody can be held accountable if you're not being responsible for your role. So there was a time na at start ako yung kailangan wag kang lilihis dito ha. If I need to shout, if I need to do something so that I get his response, then I have to do it. And it came to a time wherein they were very much comfortable doing the same to me. Whether it's a rookie or a veteran. Basta nagkamali ako, willing rin ako to accept that. And that's where we felt that we were progressing even during the time that we were not part of the UAP. Ang hirap every time there's a game that we were suspended, we would watch the game before we practice at times. Pero parang feeling namin, kaya namin talunin tong team na to, pero wala kami dun. So ang hirap din on our end na, what can we do? But yun nga, after that, we joined all the minor leagues in preparation for the following season, which is 2007. We sweat everything all the way to the UAP. So naging okay rin for our batch at that time because if I remember right, we won about 4 or 5 tournaments, including the UAAP for 1 year.
And that's why the 2007 championship was truly sweet, no? For LaSalle.
I think all championships are special. It's just that they have their own distinction or their own recognition from all,
true.
diba?
Yeah, the 1999 had that
Everybody
moment.
has
And of course,
special
2007 coming from the bitterness of 2006. That's why it became extra sweet in that regard. And even though Taekwondo is an individual sport, they say that no athlete is ever alone.
Yes.
Because you have, your team, your coaching staff, your a whole like family to support
Yeah.
you, to bring you to that point. So
That's
Coach
very true.
Stephen.
Because even like our sport is individual, but I tell the boys also, we cannot win a championship alone. It has to be everybody working together, understanding each other, caring for one another, and that's what brings the championship. So we play individually, but we're like basketball also because we have to work together for a common goal.
Well, I mean, I'm always admiring of athletes because I know that aside from the physical, you know, conditioning that you have to go through, I think more than that is the heart and the mental, you know, strength to, you know, go again, try again, especially after you made a mistake, especially after you failed.
Yeah.
So I want to ask about that. What's the one like failure that still haunts you, and how did you overcome that? No, who wants to go first?
Wow. There's a lot. Hirap mag-name one.
Stephen.
Actually, they always say that losing is part of your winning. When I was playing, I was a very sore loser in the beginning.
Really? I can't
I
imagine
took
because
it
you're
really-
so zen and you're
Yeah,
so
I took it personal. I was very quiet.
really okay.
I'd cry at home. Why did this happen? Why did I lose? You know, maybe I didn't block or cover right away, or I missed a step, something like that. But as I matured later on, and I was coaching already, I realized that, you know, this is part of something. And until you realize that it is part of the process, then that's only when you'll get better. So, like going back into Barcelona, I lost the 1991 SEA Games. I was also very bitter then because I lost in our own country. But I said later on, when I understood everything again, I sat down, I had a long talk with my teacher, my coach, and he made me realize that, you know, it doesn't end there. But you have to move on, you have to continue. And by continuing on, you know, you can fight whatever's troubling you later on. But what's important, you prepare. Because everybody wants to win. Your opponent wants to win. But you have to prepare. So when you face him, you have no regrets. And they say, when you face the mirror, I can look straight and not hide and just say, nah, I did my best. So that was one part that taught me a lot. And later on, I carried that also into my coaching career by guiding also all the athletes in other sports na, you know, don't take losing so hard in terms of giving up, but it should be a part of you to make you stand up and move on again. And you know, when you realize and reach your goals, then you'll say, you know, I did that person did something right for their lives. So ganon. So now, when the teams lose, I see the reactions of the players, also the coaches, and you know, sometimes I you know, come approach them and say, you know, it's okay, we get back, we'll win again, let's prepare, and things will get better. You know, something like that.
I remember the iconic Michael Jordan commercial too, where he's shooting hoops and talking about how everyone remembers the shots he made, but he remembers the shots he missed. TY?
So, with me, the thing that I remember is si Sir Terry always telling me to just enjoy the game. Enjoy the game no matter what, whether you're making good plays or you're making bad plays. What's important is you move on to the next and just find joy in what you do at the present moment. But it's so ironic because sometimes when pressure is on, ang hirap hanapin nun eh. And especially when you pile up the mistakes, that's when it hits you that, you know, what could you have done better during that time that could have avoided all those mistakes? As an athlete, that's one thing that you have to work on. Not only one day, you have to work on, just like what Coach Stephen mentioned, it's really a journey. So it's a process that you have to go through. Na, okay, at start, the reason why I turned the ball over because I couldn't use my left to dribble and pass the ball, and everything's through my right. Just because the opponent has already scouted me. Now they're forcing me to my weak side. And if I don't work on it, I don't get it better, then I will forever be that. And I think that's one of the most important things as an athlete, that we accept the weaknesses that we have so that we would be able to take the first step to the changes that we want to happen. And it takes some time to realize all that, because the hardest part is, again, to accept. That's the first step. And then after the acceptance, that's when you really can take the next steps to getting better at one facet of your game. Up until siguro you get one part today, another part tomorrow, you pick up the pieces together, and then now it becomes a different package as a whole. So again, it's a whole process, and that's what gets us athletes very competitive, because there's no one day that we won't have a goal in terms of how we want to try to be the best versions of ourselves.
That's a master class right there. And it's funny because that's your nickname too. They call you Master. Diba? Sir, si JV, ikaw si Master. And you, Dino, I mean, you have stories about it, I'm sure.
No, I think for me, we can align kasi nga we go through the same thing. But just to put a little twist in comparing how the life of an athlete is in terms of adversities and challenges, etc., etc. Like me, I have two boys and I have a daughter. Yung boys ko, talagang buhos ako dyan when it comes to sports. I mean, I really force them not only to go into sports and play the sport. I really tell them to compete. Yung talagang they compete the best they can. Why? Because there are many things sports will teach wherein school will not teach. For example, let's say, sabi ni Steve, sa school, pag nagbumagsak ka sa test, ang makakaalam lang naman yung mga classmate mo. Stephen said he was preparing, then he comes into the stadium and there's like, 20,000 fans watching. Imagine mapahiya ka dun sa harapan ng mga tao na yun. People will talk, people will say, anong ginawa nito, di ba? And even for us, di ba, we prepare. These are things behind the scenes, which many people don't see. And then, when you don't perform, grabe how they bash on athletes. Grabe how they look down on
the
athletes.
The stakes are so high. Yeah.
I remember one time I saw Coach Tim Cohn, and then I saw him and I said, "Oh, Coach, congrats for winning the SEA Games." So this was the hardest thing to do. So I go, why? When they won, no one really congrats, and everyone expected. But when they lost, everyone started talking, bashing them, etc. So as an athlete, diba, there's that discipline that you have to take with you until you stop playing the sport, diba? But it's also the same discipline you take with you as you go on through life after sports, diba? And the samahan, you have to, you're with 15 players. Ito si Steven, I mean, Taekwondo malaking team din yun. Kami, yung ibang players dun, di naman namin type kasama diba? But diba, hindi rin nila kami type kasama. But we have to
you have no choice.
You have no choice but to really mix with them. So this kind of getting to know, you also take it after your after sports, di ba? Dala-dala mo pa rin yan, di ba? So I feel that overall, di ba? Grabe yung para kaming realistically, they just don't compare, but it is actually the same. Para kaming mga sundalo.
I was going to say,
Well,
it feels like a
soldiers.
war.
Yeah.
And the way that you remember these moments too very clearly.
We don't go out. Why? Because pag puyat ka, it will affect your game tomorrow.
Yes.
Mapapahiya ka, people talk bad about you. Diba? In school, you fail one subject, and people talk to you, pero classmate mo lang naman siguro diba? Number two, you don't work out, you don't prepare yourself. Next day, pahiya ka sa kalaban mo. Diba? So you have to, do this thing. You have to eat the right way, sleep the right way, prepare the right way, and wala na kami buhay diba? Namin sabi, TY, that's why it's easy for athletes to get burnt out, diba? In fact, I read somewhere that many athletes quit, not walk away from the game or quit, not because of the game. The game is exciting, sarap mag-game, but it's because of the practice, the discipline that you have to put in every day. For me, the hours, the time.
Yeah.
So for me, that alone is already the adversity. That already is it. So for athletes, talagang I really compare them. Like what you agree with me, is parang kami mga sundalo. Diba?
I love
At
that.
the same time, we all have bled for our school, we bled for our country,
Diba?
and it's something that
Oh.
we will always remember and cherish.
And when you don't perform, you hear
Yeah, I
it, diba?
Akala ko you Japorms eh.
Diba? There's one time na masama lang game, sasabihin na ng mga tao, nagbenta na ng laro yan, diba?
Yeah.
Diba? They're selling the game. Eh, masama lang yung gising, masama lang yun. But you were not allowed to make mistakes. Diba?
Yes, that's true.
So it's really, for me, there is already adversity in the preparation. That alone.
And I must say too that because of the stakes, no, and because of the limelight, inevitable that all of us, well, all of you, have to have an anchor, no. Especially, you know, in the community, it can be a coach, it can be a teammate. I want to highlight someone because I know Brother Bernie spoke to you, TY, diba? During the time, your dark night of the soul, when you wanted to quit. So I want to hear about that. And of course, Dino, Coach Stephen, if you have a Lasallian, I guess, mentor or, you know, anchor.
Brother, huwag ka na ba? Mag-brother ka na. Samahan mo na kami dito.
Nirecruit ka pala.
Samahan mo na
Iba pala
kami
yun.
dito. Kulang kami. Daming trabaho eh. Sabi ni Edwin, daming trabaho daw dito eh.
Yeah, si Brother Bernie was the first brother that I got to meet in person. Siya yung pinakaunang nag-welcome sa akin to the Lasallian family. And since then, I really had a good personal relationship with si brother, even up to now. At that time when I quit, and he was one of the earliest people that learned that I stopped playing basketball. So he called me. I went, at that time he was still the brother president of LaSalle Green Hills. So I went to his office and then we had a chat. He asked any reasons why you really wanted to quit. And then I said my reasons. But one thing that I remembered him telling me is that, you know, you're still young. There's still a lot of things. He heard me first, but after hearing me out, he said, you're still young. There's still a lot of things that, you know, you're gonna be able to understand someday. Maybe not today. The things that are going with you, maybe it's your emotions that are overwhelming today. But if you get to understand where all these people are trying to give you wisdom or advice, then you will see that what they are saying is also based from their own experiences in life, and that you will be able to bring that with you as you go along. And you should be fortunate and lucky today, because not everybody your age gets through a lot of these experiences and gets a lot of wisdom from all the people that's surrounding you. And he told me that the people that are talking to you, they're not just people that are here and there. They're all prominent, very influential people that's giving, they're very recognized people that's giving you all this wisdom and advice. So come to think of it, all those wisdom or advice that you've picked up, you'll be able to use that in the future. And that's one thing that I remember most out of the long hours and the many times that we've been together. Kasi today, I really am able to benefit from it. Being able to get all the wisdom and the advice from all these people back then. Now I'm being able to put it to good use, not only for myself, but also to my kids, my family, and now to the players that I teach. Diba? As a coach, I get to share with them all that I remember, all that I've been through. It's one of the most fulfilling thing to me as not only as a coach, but somebody who's being able to share wisdom and giving advice to people who I feel either may need it or may not need it, but I know someday they will benefit from that as well.
And that's to everyone's benefit. TY is also the coach of the College of St. Benil, the basketball team. So, coaches all around too.
Hindi na ako nag-coach.
But yeah, that anchor in DLSU, maybe Coach Stephen, because now you're very much involved with the sports development of CSB.
Yes. Well, for me, my journey with LaSalle started when I entered the doors of Greenhills in 1974. And I never left the community. All these years as a student, as an athlete, as a trainer, as a coach, as a faculty member, and today as an administrator. But along the way, I would say the influence of the brothers have been very helpful for me. As I was growing up from elementary to the present, a lot have given me advice. And I would say when I was younger, of course, there was Brother Rolly, Brother Rafe, and of course later on Brother Bernie, Brother Bobby, and many more. Maybe I can't mention all of them at the same time, but to the brothers, I'm very grateful to them because they not only taught me about the community, but they would also ask me about my sport. Oh, how's your game? How's your competition? How's your team? And things would unfold, conversations. And then later on, they would support me in my request for the team, for the players. So I'm very grateful that I've been part of this community all this time, and proud to be green, I would say, and very grateful for the education I've had in LaSalle.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be a brother. I mean, I would consider also my professor, Dr. Doy Del Mundo, as an anchor here in LaSalle. Can even be a loved one. I mean, your wife, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's also Lasallian, of course.
Yeah.
I think all of us have spouses from LaSalle.
And my wife, my girlfriend then, who's my wife, used to watch all my games also in Rizal Memorial.
That's an important anchor,
yeah, so
I think.
big support also. I'm sure for TY also and Dino. A lot of friends, a lot of barkada and professors also.
Give love with Lasallian Giving. Lasallian Giving is a new online donation facility that calls us to spread love for our Lasallian mission. Please visit the Lasallian Giving portal to donate via e-wallet or online banking, or go to any of our over-the-counter payment centers to support DLSU. Lasallian friends and alumni may donate any amount to the following projects and campaigns: scholarships for Lasallian Legacy Fund, sports, culture and arts, infrastructure and facilities, this podcast, and Santuario de la Salle. Leave a legacy, strengthen our animo. Give now at www.dlsu.edu.ph/give.
Dati kasi yung gym, nandun yung table wash, nandun
Oo,
yung
tapos yung
plaza.
pebble wash, ilan lang pwede
Kasi,
umupo doon? 30
So,
people in the
upo yung
pebble
mga
wash,
tao
punong-puno
sa
na yun.
bleachers.
Iniisip ko
So,
sa
Sunday
people
sila
will
doon.
go to the bleachers, doon mag-aaral. Tapos
Kakain
minsan
sila
may
doon, gusto kumakain
nag-PE din
doon.
doon. Ganun. So, minsan may practice kami doon. So, actually, hindi naman yung Omega. Ang ano lang yun was, every time there's a new player, rookie or huhubaran. Kasi daming tao. Kaya kailangan hubaran kasi nga maraming tao. Pag hubad ng ganun, tsaka na lang ito sila Allen, kumukuha ng kung anong pwedeng i-boost sa katawan, tapos siya kumukuha ng map, ganun. Ako taga-sabi lang kung sino kasi sasabihin ko, ano naman kasi.
Ikaw taga-turo.
ako lang taga-turo eh, pero...
sabi ko, it doesn't make sense, Omega initiation. Dito sa Razon na ako eh.
Oh, walang tao doon.
Noon, huhubaran ka, lalagyan ka noon. Anong tao dito? Kahit maghubad ako dito.
Doon sa gym
tumakbo pa ako.
Wala.
Walang Omega, tinatanong sila, bakit ba Omega kayo
Isipin mo bro,
nagsimula?
isipin mo. Let's say, BJ Manalo, di ba?
Ayun,
Di,
Yeah,
tinanggalan, hinaburan. Pag hinubad yung shorts mo, brother, hindi yung hubad na hanggang dito, talagang pupunitin na hanggang matanggal. Isipin mo, where you are from the middle of the
Lalakad
gym
ka papunta
to the
na.
locker,
Layo
tapos
pa rin.
nandun lahat ng pay, parang wala kang suot na damit.
Yun, naintindihan ko pa yun.
Diba? So, takbo ka,
Omega,
ganun ka
walang
talaga.
tao.
Diba? Takbo ka talaga ganun. Tawa na lang. Tapos ang hawak si Aliado, ang hawak si Allen
Lalaki.
Patrimonio. Si Willie ang taga-hubad. Diba?
Si
Willie
Wilson.
Wilson.
Willie Wilson.
Ako naman, yung susunod na natin ito ngayon.
Kami, ang tagahawak namin, mga gwardya. Ang tagalagay namin, si Walsh. Tuwan-tuwa yun pag omega tayo ngayon. Kumukuha pa ng gloves yun.
Kaya yun, so kahit anong makita, Gatorade, buhos sa katawan ng player. Kuha ng tubig.
Wala na yun ngayon, tinanggal na nila.
Tinanggal na nila.
Two more humorous anecdotes naman. Like, what's a funny memory about, LaSalle or being part of the varsity that you might want to share to the audience? Kahit wag naman R18.
Hindi. Wala ako experience sa R18. Ako siguro funny part is, I don't know what in particular, no? Pero, kasi during my time, when I entered the school as a recruit at the time, parang, my course was already there, and pasok ko athletes block. Napakasaya ng athletes block kasi nandun yung football, nandun yung tennis, nandun yung volleyball, nandun yung basketball. So, for me, that was really masaya yung time na yun kasi nga parang school bukol di ba? But it was really fun. It was really fun. Sa akin, athlete life medyo masaya. I think that is their way of, parang outlet na lang namin yan kasi mahirap talaga yung training na pinadadaanan. So I think that being together was our outlet na
For me, siguro, it's the funny part for me is the benefits that come along as an athlete. Masaya Alam mo yun, yung tipong sometimes you get away with certain things. Minsan, you drive one way, wrong direction ka, makita ka ng police, biglang, oh, idol, ganyan, papayagan ka na. So parang those little things for me, masayang i-recall masayang i-recall, masayang ikwento to whoever na, sometimes as an athlete, we get away with some things. Or sometimes just paying off, I've been to Dubai back in 2010, 11, and then there's this cashier of a fast food na-recognize ka. Hindi, kuya, kabayan. Okay na yan, walang problema. Sagot, parang he treated me for that. So it's those little things na yung sa eskwela, wag na natin ikwento.
Coach Stephen?
Siguro sa akin, there were times before sa klase when other classmates would ask anong sport nyo. Then we'd say Taekwondo, hindi pa nila masyadong kilala nun. So we have to explain pa. Then we have to say, it's parang karate. But I'll never forget one time, yung Philippine team, we were going to the Asian Games, 86. There's this old lady that approached us, our team. Kami nun, naka-suit, tapos naka-parade uniform. Tapos sabi nung anak, anong team kayo? Ano po, Taekwondo team po kami. Ano yan, dance group ba kayo? So, hindi po. So we had to explain again what the sport was. So, these were funny moments na, unlike today when you say Taekwondo, people would know already. But there were times during our student life and as member of the national team, now we had to explain or to describe what the sport was. So.
And your idol Bruce Lee, we found out, finished also or studied in De La Salle College in Hong Kong. So there is a Lasallian connection. Yeah. And how did you celebrate the championship back in 1999, back in 2007? Like, was it in...
When we won in 1998, we were... one of the prize we got was we were able to go to the US as a team. Diba? We went there and it was really fun kasi si Lasal kasi during our time, hindi pa masyado malakas ang recruiting sa PhilAm diba? I mean, we only had a very few PhilAms in our team. Marami kami mga probinsyano to. Yung talagang from the province and or really good players, diba? And for them, nag-champion kami and then we would go to the States all together. For them, it was really, even me, I've never been to the States only until we won the championship. So that was one of our prize for, or benefit or token which we got for winning our champ. So we went to the States as a team.
And the 2007 championship celebration?
Yes, it's the same. We one of the prize that we got was for us to be able to go to Hong Kong as a team. It's about 4 or 5 days yata yun. We went there together. But more than that, I think Dino would agree with me on this. More than that, the prize really is being able to remember you as the champion player. So wherever we go today, that's I guess the prize that we have. Na everybody recognizes us as being able to lead or being able to win that championship for the school, for LaSalle, and knowing that all Lasallians are very happy and proud of us for winning it, and grateful for winning it for the school is a remarkable thing for us.
I remember you saying in interviews how you remember it as if it were yesterday. It's so clear to you that
so clear. Going back to a funny story. I remember one time that we were athletes block kami, so we had to take finals exam. I just forgot what subject it was, diba? Pero yung exam namin oral yun sa Rizal Memorial. It was swimming. Kailangan namin mag-swimming ng ilang laps. It was part of the test or exam.
PE siguro yan.
Hindi, PE accepted kami sa PE. Athlete kami, di ba?
So it's
we
like
had
a
to
test?
go. Yeah. It was, I don't know what subject, but we had to go, and then we were like 6 basketball players that had to go. Kasi make up kami because the others, they were able to take it. Kami, my game. So I remember we were there with even Alan Patrimonio, with even Magsumbol, ganyan. And when we got there, we were ready to go into the pool and take our actual test, diba? Bawal kasi hindi pwedeng naka-shorts kasi it's a Olympic kailangan naka-trunks.
Yes.
Wala kaming trunks Di ba? Wala kaming huhudot. Nakahanap kami ng mga swimming trunks na Philippine team dun sa nakasabit na bate yun, nakasabay. Kaysa bumagsak kami sa ginamit namin yung mga trunks ng Philippine team dun. So may Philippine flag kami dito.
Sino kaya yung teacher nyo dyan?
Talunan kami sa pool. And then it was funny kasi after that, nakakata na kami sa diving kasi may dive board dun So, but it was funny kasi during that time, it was, it's embarrassing, but we had to pass the test, so, But yeah, tama yung sabi niyo. Ang problema rin kasi with LaSalle is LaSalle is not a mediocre school when it comes to sports. It's always, top 3 lagi yan So, winning, it's too high. I mean, during our time, if you play for another school, not to name any school, diba? Matalo expected naman yun, diba? Sa amin hindi, even yung recruiting program, medyo mataas yung standard. So, yung winning a championship, of course, I agree with TY where you have the benefit of people know you, but the relief of being able to win because people really expected you to win. So, it's like, buti na nilampasan namin. Kasi, pag talo ka, talagang...
Parang pass or fail.
Pass or fail ka na.
No in-betweens. It's pass or fail.
Wala nga, pass nga lang. Kasi pag fail dun, talagang, they really look down. Even the community. Notice the LaSalle community. I speak through experience. Pag nanonood ka ng UAAP game, if the team is not winning, makikita mo pati yung cheer ng LaSalle humihina They don't rally the players behind. Because even the community knows that they're supposed to win. Diba? So,
you're supposed to win.
Diba? I mean, I've heard other schools, pag medyo down sila, all the more that the community talagang nag-rally, diba? Ang LaSalle, hindi. Ang LaSalle is different LaSalle, notice, pag medyo lamang, malakas ang cheer. Diba? Like what TY said. What happened when nagpahinga, nung nag-break, nung nag-suspend? nawala yung mga, yung mga, yung mga beneficiaries.
Yeah,
Nawala
yung mga supporters.
People went out kasi why? Wala naman na kayo. So it was really something for us wherein there was a certain standard that we have to live up to. Diba? Oh, look at basketball. How many coaches have come and gone in our basketball team in the last 10 years? Why? Kasi you don't come in and see a promising team or potential team. Hindi, you come in, kailangan mag-champion to. Diba? So, yung sinasabi ni TY na it's really a thorn that is taken out when you win because it's something that they expect you to do when you play for the school. Masyadong mataas ang expectation.
I saw recently another podcast na they interviewed Ren, and they were asking him about the championship game, no? And he was like, hindi ko nga alam what came over me eh. Bakit ko pinasa yung bola eh. Kasi even though the security guard of Cuneta Astrodome
Alam
knew,
niya titira.
ikaw titira, no? Ikaw titira sa dulo, no? Pero sabi niya, at that moment daw, nung pinasa na niya, dun siya kinabahan. But he's grateful na pinasa niya.
Yeah. Oh, yun din yung game na hindi niya rin alam ba't niya ako nahalikan eh. Kaya nasabi ko, nahalikan niya ako doon sa harapan ng maraming tao. Sabi ko, yeah. But yeah, si Ren, ano yan, winner din yan. I'd say by how I know him, on and off the court winner siya. So wherever he goes, he brings that winning attitude. So siguro for him not parang challenging himself why he passed the ball is because that winning attitude is when kaya kong ipanalo to, di ba? That's our first championship 1997, our first 1998, sorry, our first
1998.
championship against FPU, di ba? Ano siya noon? 2 out of 14, di ba? Parang puro miss, di ba? Pero the shot that had to count when it was the last maybe 40 seconds, yun yung pinasok niya eh, di ba? And we won and that was the first, yun masaya yun yung first championship namin. Kasi it was a 10-year drought. Walang ka-championship. And that's why if you notice now, yung mga championship, I would say, hindi na kasing exciting na 97, kasi 98 eh. Kasi now, pag final buzzer, hindi na makapasok ng court. They put a rope. You go to YouTube and we watch the 1998 championship.
I saw,
how people just pandemonium. Basag yung table, yung wasak yung ganyan. Kasi people just flooded there. Kasi gutom sa panalo eh, di ba? And it was really a great experience during the time in 1998 namin. It was good to put the team back.
And with you, it was a little bit opposite because Lasal was coming from a streak and the shoes were very big, di ba?
Oo, mahirap din yun.
For you, that's a different situation naman, TY.
Yeah, this is about the 2007 or
I know, when you
when
came
I entered,
when you
yeah.
entered,
The hardest part for me personally is being the reliever of Mike Cortez. Yan yung pinakamahirap talaga nun. Kasi Mike Cortez at that time is playing his last year and he's already established as the next number 1 draft pick in the pros, diba? And that year he was not that year, the year prior where they won the championship. Talagang siya yung nag-anchor ng team eh. And knowing that Ren is gone, who's gonna be the next guy? Considering that he's already been anchoring that with Ren. So doon yung challenge and yung struggle for me to play when you take out Mike, there's this TY Tang coming in. Yun yung pinakamahirap, 'di ba, for me. And at that time, if I remember right, during my rookie year, I was just weighing 125 pounds playing point guard. They say that the toughest positions in basketball is being the center and also the point guard.
Oh, yeah.
But they say point guards are really yung pinakamahirap eh.
By far.
Because you need to, it's not only bringing down the ball through pressure, but it's being able to facilitate the other 4 people inside the court. And that's really a struggle for me during that first year. Good enough that I was able to recover from that and everything was history.
And Coach Yang credits your heart as his favorite, favorite, he didn't say it in his exact terms, but it's my translation. Na what makes you one of the best point guards out there is the heart.
I still remember Dino's interview after that post game. What do you want to be remembered after this? And he said about, I want to be remembered having the biggest of heart playing this game. I guess it's the same. It's common to us small people. I mean, playing a sport that's supposed to be, height matters in this sport, and us not being able to have that facet. I would say that there's no other thing for us except to bring the best out of us, and usually the heart would really be the primary how do I say this, primary outlet for us to be able to be always motivated, for us to be always doing things the right way, the correct way, building the right habits. It's our heart first, sometimes even before our minds go at whatever it is that we're doing. Because if not for it, I don't think we will have any advantage playing this sport. Maybe in other sports, okay lang. We can level out our skill or our talent level with other people. But in this game, if you can't, ang pinakakaya lang namin gawin is really be able to facilitate, get the ball down half court. That's the first and foremost priority. And then the things that we can do on a personal capacity, whether it's to shoot, create, drive, kick, or communicate with other people, it all comes from our heart. It's it doesn't come from our mind. It comes from our heart first, so that when we do these things, it's more instinctive. It's not more strategical.
I will ask you also, Coach Stephen, about that, but I just can't resist asking Dino about that heart thing, because it's another thing the two of you share aside from number 11. There is a quote in the Lasallian where you mentioned that, and you said also in the past that Cuneta Astrodome was cursed. Diba? We had this whole trauma because we wouldn't win in Cuneta, but you had the positive feeling even in the dugout na we have a good feeling about this game.
Yeah. That's
share
true,
that again.
Coming into the last game, we could not use Araneta because during that time it was already being renovate na siya. It was being renovated, construction ongoing, so we had to choose Cuneta. However, the community and the coaching staff, they didn't want Cuneta because we have not won a championship in Cuneta. Medyo nandun yung curse daw at malas. So they were opting for Phil Sports or Ultra or another venue, and wala kaming choice. We just had to play in Cuneta, ganyan. And normally kasi the reason why I said that I wanted to be remembered as the Lasallian with the biggest heart. Kasi sometimes, di ba? I mean, when the problem overtakes knowledge or whatever you know in your mind, wala na. Your mind will just say, hindi ko na kaya yan. Kasi when a problem overtakes whatever you know, tendency. That's why a lot of smart people, di ba? They commit suicide. They go into because why? Because when the problem overtakes whatever they know, suko na sila, di ba? That's why I like talking to people who fight it out because they have a big heart. Kasi chances are it doesn't make sense anymore. The mind is telling you it doesn't make sense. Diba? Why go through it? Doesn't make sense. But if the heart is willing, then that's the only thing that's going to keep you going. And during that time, that's the only thing you go to, because it really doesn't make sense. I played 14 games. I mean, I was playing 2-3 minutes a game, 5 minutes a game. So it didn't make sense for me to really come out like that. It doesn't make sense that something like this could actually happen. But I kind of still believe that to the last time that something good can come out of this. So heart plays a really big issue, which I actually carry on to to life after sports.
And Coach Stephen, of course, you know, even though it's a combat sport, Taekwondo, a lot of it's not just the movement, it's not arms and legs, it's really your fighting spirit, so to speak, diba?
That's very true. Of course, you analyze the game, but sometimes it's really your heart that will deliver you to the victory. And I remember, well, 2 instances when my coach had to tell me the only way you're going to win this match is with your. He told me to attack. So literally said, you know, you have to fight it out. No strategy, just attack. And I was down in the second round. This was the quarterfinal match in '88 in another championship, the Asians. And he said, you know, the only way you're going to beat this guy was taller than me. He was about 5'11", at 126 pounds. And he said, you know, you have to attack all the way. So that's what I did lang. And luckily, the victory was ours. Then also in '92, I was down also in the second round. He said again, the only way you're going to win if you want a medal is you have to attack to the end. And you know, after that, you really get so exhausted. You know, I was shaking after the '92, that match in '92 of exhaustion. But in the end, you realize that when things are all equal, sometimes the best thing really you can bring to the court is your fighting heart. And that's what later on, you know, we all try to share to our students.
Yes.
Despite the odds, there's always that chance. As long as you don't give up, you can still win.
Yeah, because there's always someone bigger, someone better, someone younger, someone newer, stronger. But it's really the heart, no, the strength of your will.
And you can see in their eyes later on if you can overcome them.
Okay. Yep. Beautiful words. Well, I think we've reached the 90-minute mark, but I want to ask a few more questions. I mean, of course, there's life after sports. And you mentioned that the lessons that you learned through sports are still carried with you as parents, you know, as leaders in your businesses. Maybe you can share some aspects of that too. Like, well, I mean, the most direct one is you have a basketball school. So you're sharing down to like very, very young kid, like teaching them the basics. Was it always a dream to do that, or
coaching wasn't a dream for me? When I was in college, people would ask me. I think even not only people, it's more of the guy or the fans that are watching are telling me that, you know, you can be a coach one day, and I always tell them that I don't think I'm gonna get to that point because I see all these coaches of mine from grade school all the way to college. All they do is shout. I don't want to be that person, sabi ko. So I didn't want to be a coach. But then, yun nga, eventually one thing led to the other. Now I'm coaching. I started coaching kids more than coaching
young adults.
Yeah, college ball. Kasi when I started my basketball school, I was still a rookie year in the PBA. That's when I started. So I taught like 5 kids, and then it became a word of mouth that 5 became 10, 15, and then grew until I was already having a base in Xavier. So being able to, me today as a coach, being able to share with them again all the wisdom that or the knowledge that I've experienced all these years. And then them being able to either do it physically or bring it at home, and then the parents giving me a feedback that, what did you do? It was magical. Just with one session with you, it's either him being able to dribble straight line, or him being able to shoot, or this person who didn't really have confidence in himself now going home telling the parents that, you know, I can achieve this as long as I put my heart on it, as long as I work on it, and then them seeing the follow through, being this kid doing some workouts on his own, dribbling the ball at home, parang it really gives me that, as a coach, that sense of fulfillment, especially to these young kids, because sometimes it's as early as 4, as young as 4 years old, diba? It's different when you're coaching in college na they already have their own mindsets or their own identity. Ito talaga, it's the beginners or the neophytes at that stage, and then you see them develop, progress their minds or their basketball facet into a different level. That's where you know that you're doing, you're serving a purpose to somebody else. You're really being able to lend a hand. And I guess that's where I got my education from. Here in LaSalle, me being a part of CSB, St. Benilde, I still remember the motto very, very well. With St. Benilde, it's him trying to be extraordinary with the ordinary things. Diba? And these things that I do, anybody can do it. But it just becomes extraordinary, or it becomes special because you've done something special, not only to the person, but also to the family. And that's the reason why I feel very, very much happy, blessed that, the Lord above directed me this path to become a coach, not only to the college level or the pro level, but to young kids as young as sometimes 3, 4, 5-year-old kids.
Yeah, it's not luck, I think. It's faith. And Dino, you were talking also earlier about how, even with your own kids, the reason why you want them to compete is that it's not padded, meaning they go through the adversity of it. They see the consequences of their actions or inaction. And how is that, seeing your two boys rise in their ranks too, in their sports?
Well, I think the sport has taught them a lot, even about who their character is today. None of them they don't party, they don't drink, they don't really go out. They just spend so much time, working on their talents. So the reason why I pressure, but I really drove them drove them to really enjoy what they're doing, to have a passion in what they're doing. Because if you teach them, a lot of parents or a lot of parents, they would instill, this is what you should do, that's what you should do. Me naman kasi, I wanted to fuel passion. Kasi if you fuel passion, everything else, magpa-practice yan. Kasi nga gusto niya yung ginagawa niya eh. But if you instill that on him, but he doesn't want it, like none of my boys are basketball players, but they're super athletes. Diba? Like my eldest son is in just less than 3 years, he's now with the golf team of LaSalle, and he's a single handicap in golf. But he hasn't played 3 years. I mean, we just learned the sport over the pandemic. Diba? He's competing. Diba? He joins the big tournament. My second son is who's only 19, but he's with the Ascals men, and he will leave this August to play Division 1 football on Scholar. Diba? But they just worked on their craft. So for me, the sport really taught them on who their character is today. They're very respectful. They don't brag. They don't boast. They're very disciplined. But I didn't really have to get a belt and whack them. No. The sport taught them that. Diba? The competition taught them that. Diba? So I go back and and credit a lot on what the sport or what competition brings. Kasi marami naman sport, pero kung hindi ka nagko-compete, then we don't go into anything that we're not going to compete. Anything. We always want to compete.
Yeah. And I guess, Coach Stephen, that's why I would like to bring the question to the new generation, because as head of sports dev in CSB and working with young people now, you've seen several kinds of generations go through you, and of course there are differences, with how they're motivated, with how they handle stress and handle obstacles. How would you encourage them now?
Well, it's very different compared to the times of before. Just to share a story, during our time, di ba, when the coach says, go home, don't ever show your face again. The player will never go home. Won't leave the venue, won't leave the court, won't leave the mat. I've encountered some athletes, when the coach told them to go home, they went home. So,
Thank you pa.
so after a while, hinahanap ko sila. Nasaan na si ganito? Then I found out, after calling them, summoning them, I had a conversation, and they said, Sir, coach told me to go home. I said, why did you go home? You're not supposed to go home. Coach was testing you. So it's different, no? But you have to explain it to them, no? That's not what he meant. He was challenging you to do better, to give out more of yourself, to follow whatever instructions are being said on the court. These are the things that you need to understand. So it takes a little more explanations now. Like during my time, when I grew up in the 80s, you know, we just be scolded and we don't know why. But we understand it later on. Because it's because of this, it's because of that. Or my teammate would tell me, hindi mo ginawa yung pinapagawa ni coach, ganyan. So these are the things that are with us today. But it's very encouraging because when you see them realize that, you know, these kids really have potential and you see them grow as a student, as an athlete, it's also very fulfilling. Like Coach TY was saying also na, you know, kids are very honest when, you know, with their feelings, and when you see them develop, grow, and, you know, get better, and the parents would say, you know, coach, my son's doing better. It's very, very like fulfilling. It's an achievement on your part na, hey, I'm doing something good, I'm doing something right. So now with the school, you know, with Benil also as one of the mentors, there are many. I would say, yeah, I'm blessed that I'm there with so many supportive administrators, fellow Benil and associates, and this is something I truly enjoy. Actually, my first goal was to be a lawyer, but school, coaching, sports led me to a different path, and to this day, I have no regrets, and I continue to enjoy what I'm doing, and to be in the company of great Lasallian athletes as well.
Okay, last question.
To add to that,
Yes.
what I learned about coaching is actually being a better communicator. From the time of no explanation needed, you do this, you're demanded to do that, you do it. No explanation. You don't know any reason why you're supposed to do it, but the coach told you, then do it. Compared to kids today, they're supposed to know exactly why. If you give them a good reason why it's needed to be done, they will follow that. And that actually changed my whole coaching philosophy. From all the people I look up to as my coach that keeps yelling, scolding at us back then. But don't get me wrong, they've been good mentors to us, good guidance in terms of how, like Dino said, how competitive he wants his kids to be. It's the same as how the coaches wants us to be. He wants us disciplined at that point. But today, if you just explain to them, they will open up and they will accept and they will follow your lead the whole time. So again, it's, if there's one thing that being a coach today, it's really training myself to be a better communicator.
Nice. So I guess last question now, and I mean you're always asked this, but I think it's more specific. What's a piece of LaSalle that you'd like to be unchanged for this generation or for the younger generations? Because of course, there's always evolution. Any institution evolves, you know. We were just chatting kanina about how different the campus looks now. It looks like Google, Apple, you know, and back then it was not. But what's a piece of your LaSalle that you'd love to retain for your younger generations?
Me, there's support. There's support with sports. Because as far as I know and can remember, when you speak of LaSalle, sports is always up there. Parang they always are 1, 2, 3. So I don't know if they're doing it on purpose because they want to win, or they're just preparing the kids for life later on, diba? But either way, there's one piece that I really like with the school is the level of competition they bring, especially into sports, and I would love to see that retained over the years, or even improved even better for the better.
I would say the community, because for me, anywhere we go, whether you're a famous Lasallian or not, when you say you are from Lasalle, then you have that parang instant
Bond.
Yeah. Then you relive the past. You talk about what course you're in, what building you are in, all those things. Parang may common denominator na kayo. So, like for example, I've had this experience when I was in Canada. I met with a couple of LaSalle people out there, and they instantly welcomed me over there, and they showed me around. Diba? Parang ang dali, and that's how life is supposed to be. You're not supposed to travel alone. There's supposed to be a lot of people, your friends or at least supporters, helping you out so that life would be easier that way. So for me, it's the community that we need to always secure and make sure that as long as we know he came from our family, let's try to welcome him and help him the way it should be.
Nice. Coach Stephen?
I totally agree with these two gentlemen. But siguro for me, of course, I would say also for the school to continue service to community, whether you be in academe, in sports, in administration, but to really work for the continuous development, growth of our LaSalle community, not just here in Manila, but everywhere we go. We continue to be in communion and relate to our goals and our objectives. What is our purpose for this life we are here on this planet, or the world we live in. Siguro yun na yun.
Touching lives.
Yun. Lunchtime.
Touching hearts, transforming lives. Very much in line with everything that you said too, and the overall mission of LaSalle. And that wraps up our episode with the Lasallian sports legends. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dino,
Thank you.
TY,
Thank you for
Coach
having us.
Stephen.
Thank you so much.
And we will be back for more episodes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
All
it. That's a
right.
wrap.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
We should have a picture together.
Yes, yes.
All of us.
please.
All of us.
Yes.
Selfie.
Everyone.
Give love with Lasallian Giving. Lasallian Giving is a new online donation facility that calls us to spread love for our Lasallian mission. Please visit the Lasallian Giving portal to donate via e-wallet or online banking, or go to any of our over-the-counter payment centers to support dlsu. Lasallian friends and alumni may donate any amount to the following projects and campaigns: scholarships for Lasallian Legacy Fund, sports, culture and arts, infrastructure and facilities, this podcast, and Santuario de La Salle. Leave a legacy, strengthen our animo. Give now at www.dlsu.edu.ph/give.